She posted something on Substack. The gist: AI-generated content is flooding in, and she's afraid human presence will drown in it. A day is coming when you won't find a real person anywhere online. When you think you're talking to someone, you'll be talking to a machine. What would that feel like? I stopped in front of that post for a moment, not because I disagreed with her, because the worry itself had a kind of weight. She wasn't making an argument, she was naming a fear. I understood that feeling. You're swimming in an open ocean and you start to lose track of what's water and what's shore. You're not looking for direction, you just need to confirm the shore is still there. That fear is real. I have no way to call it unnecessary. But I replied with something I'd been thinking myself. Human senses evolved over a very long time. We can distinguish colors and shapes because we needed to judge whether a plant was safe to eat, how far away a predator was. We can detect the subtlest sounds because something was moving in the dark, and we needed to react before it reached us. Smell, touch, every perceptual capacity we have is the residue of countless life and death filters. Evolution wasn't planned, it was forced. The environment shifted, the pressure came, and what survived were the individuals who happened to grow the right abilities. So, if distinguishing a human from a machine on the other side of a screen begins to genuinely matter for survival, what happens? I think the answer is simple. We'll evolve that capacity, or more precisely, we'll get better and better at using a capacity that already exists. Humans have never identified each other through language and logic alone. We rely on something harder to name, rhythm, temperature, that felt sense of presence that you can't quite articulate but know when it's there. These are things AI still can't learn, but what I told her wasn't only the theory. I also told her I could confirm with complete certainty that she was a real human being. Her post was buried in an ocean of AI-generated content, but I saw it immediately. Not because she'd written something particularly complex, because the worry itself had a certain texture. That real, conclusionless, suspended unease. She didn't offer an answer. She just left the fear standing there. AI can imitate worry, but AI worry is complete, directional. It knows what it's trying to say. The worry of a real person is sometimes just a tangle they can't sort out themselves, thrown outward with no clear destination. That's a texture only a real person carries. If I could find her, she hadn't drowned. That fact alone was reason enough not to be so pessimistic, but I want to go one step further. In a flood of AI content, human presence isn't being drowned, it's becoming more visible. The proportion gets smaller, yes, but smaller means rarer. Rarer means more precious, more recognizable. You've been scrolling through content that's neatly formatted, logically coherent, but somehow inexplicably without warmth. And then you hit one sentence that's a little clumsy, but clearly came from a real person. The contrast stops you cold. Not because that sentence was brilliant, because it was true. But this requires something. You have to be the kind of person still reading carefully. I could recognize her as human, not because I have some special ability. It's because I was reading carefully myself, actually feeling the words, the kind of reader who stops for a single sentence. It was my own state, still willing to be moved, still willing to pause in front of a post, still willing to feel the weight. That made it possible to catch what was real in her. What you receive with determines what you can receive. If you've grown accustomed to scrolling fast, to treating everything as background noise, then yes, you'll lose that capacity. Not because human presence disappeared, because you closed the channel. So this flood of AI content isn't drowning human presence, it's doing something more subtle. It's filtering. The people who are still reading carefully, still moved by things, still willing to leave a real comment in someone's reply section, they will find each other inside the flood, and the connections between them will carry more weight precisely because they're rare. Before you'd start a group chat and everyone would just start talking, but now it's different. You know the person on the other side is real. You know they read what you wrote, actually read it. You know that somewhere in it, one sentence made them stop. That kind of connection is no longer something you get by default. It happens after two people have each made a certain kind of choice. That makes it more precious, not more tragic. What you can do is stay in that state, read carefully, feel things, stay the kind of person who can be stopped by a sentence. You'll find that inside the flood there have always been people there, and they're looking for you too.